I don't want to ask you which actor did you enjoy working with the closest or working with at all?
Because you know the answer, but yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Kissing Sharon. Kissing Sharon.
People pray for my lips, so. Pray for my lips.
Hello and welcome to this very special edition of Inkblot Meet and Greet. I know you all know I'm not your regular host, but considering the fact that I am on this show for the second time in less than 3 months, I feel privileged being the guest host, right?
Yeah.
What makes this edition very special is because we're about to unveil to you one of the biggest projects out of Nollywood.
Tell them.
When you talk about romantic comedy, right?
Period.
But before we proceed, let me quickly introduce the brains behind the project. Behind me, you have one of the head honchos in movie making, Zulu. Next to her is her partner, Damola. Next to Damola is producer cum actor extraordinaire, Eku. And of course, producer stroke executive producer stroke director. Writer.
Wow.
One and only.
Why is his own better than ours?
We are trying to save money.
Introduction is better. You have to
So
start
introduction is not bad. I was trying to remember his name.
Wow.
Okay.
Balance.
Clearly, we have to find it. Have you played the balance?
You haven't introduced me.
Yes. So
On the front
I wanted to introduce those in the kitchen cabinet.
Forget about
Now, for those of us in the front burner, like they say, ladies first.
Yeah.
Please, the delectable,
Yeah.
the charming, the seductive,
Period.
the siren, the one and only Sharon Uja. In the building.
Is it Uja or Oja?
He's my,
Uja.
this is what he calls me, and I don't, please.
It's double O.
Yeah.
Uja. Uja. Yeah, that's Sharon for you. Sharon actually needs no introduction.
Period.
The man to my left needs no introduction for millennials. If you're not a millennial, you might need an introduction. Right? Ladies and gentlemen, the ex-Marine. The ex, did you say doctor?
He's a nurse.
Oh, okay, the ex-Marine.
Yeah.
The ex-nurse. You're in a night nurse. Nurse.
You were a nurse, right?
Yeah, I was a nurse.
He was a medic, the ex-medic, star actor.
Oh, shit.
And reality star. I ain't talking about a particular reality show. I mean in reality.
In reality,
He's a star. The one and only Pere in the building. Of course, you all know me. So.
So I think this was a mistake because when we do the next introduction, it's going to be kind of unfortunate.
Anyway, we're gathered here to talk about the new film coming out that stars Pere, Sharon, and me. It's titled The Perfect Arrangement.
That's exactly how we're seated, to be honest.
Right, the perfect arrangement. Long story short, a beautiful girl, accomplished lawyer.
I'm a fashion designer. That's
accomplished-
why we had issues. You don't even know what I do.
Accomplished fashion designer is in love with 2 brothers.
She
The
don't know
obvious
which one to take.
love triangle ever.
And nobody should judge Tade because guess what? All of you are hiding behind clothes and doing the same. So
Hey,
They all have skills.
we are shaking tables here. We are shaking
You
tables.
never did that before, you know. So it's, you probably think it's everybody, but it's just your.
It just only be you.
no.
So she was in love with the 2 of us. I will let you guys speak and ask them because there's a mystery. A mystery. We shot. Can I tell them we shot 2 endings?
Yes.
We shot 2 endings to the show as to who she will end up with.
And I don't even know if she ends up with me, actually.
Neither do I.
I hope so.
Neither do I.
I just hope I didn't end up with any of them. That's one of the two.
Oh, you didn't know you shot the 3rd one.
I
Where
really.
was only Sharon?
Emily
Yes.
in Paris.
So I just hope.
Where was only Sharon? Because we're still trying to decide.
Yeah.
Do we want her to end up with you? Don't have to end up with you. And really, must she end up with somebody?
Somebody.
Do you understand?
Self-love is the best love.
Well,
Zulu,
self-love.
tell them.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's that kind of party.
That's an implicating statement. They picked this cast, and I heard that it was a gruesome process.
Wow.
So, gruesome. Like they weren't sure if to cast you or not. know.
I don't know about y'all, but I've always been tatted.
Right.
Okay, so who was not sure with regards to me?
I don't know. You are the one who went that way. But I didn't want me to dress up, so I thought you were coming for me, so I had to come for you.
Chidi and, oh gosh, Chidi and Cheta, for once. Let's behave ourselves in
No,
public.
but this is an interesting thing, really, because it's true. It's true to some extent. But there was one person. So Naz already had worked with Sharon on Who's the Boss.
Yes.
So he knew.
We're not on the film. I don't understand.
Wait. Now your directorial debut was with Sharon as lead.
Right.
So again, he came back and said, you know.
But I wasn't directing when she was attached, I remember. Yes, I wasn't directing. So this slander should not go on. But continue. Yes.
So he had already picked her. Then it was now like, okay, who do we now pair with whatever?
With Sharon.
We now had, yes, with Sharon. We're now like, question. Do we bring this person? But one thing we wanted were two guys who were very, very different. That the appeal of each person on the surface would not be obvious. So you would say, you know, see this nice...
She was like the bad boy.
Oh, bad boy, but again, look at this
bad boy,
beefcake. Right? And then look at Bovi.
Bovi is also a beefcake. How dare you?
I'm just saying.
So one is a 20-inch or 20-pound steak. One is a 15-pound steak. They are both steak.
Basically, she says that you're lean in the meat department.
First of all, very active, very bad. He said, why are people calling what? 20? He's asking people, please, can you say it loud?
Louder.
But who's 20 and who's 15?
20 inch and 15.
It's a steak.
Is that steak or?
Pere is not playing.
They have swapped out pounds for inches now. It's now a different conversation.
Wow, is that where we went?
That's where they like to. People know Zulu is trying to make heaven.
Way back.
You people are refusing.
So when you compare these two guys, right, each person brings a different appeal, right? There was one babe on Twitter that basically talked about meeting Pere at a wedding and now describe this person and all of that. If you say the description, I need to find that thing. Amazing. But then you see Bovi, you know, he's amazing too.
What did Bovi do to you, Damola?
Why are you slurring when you say that?
Oh, you see Bovi as well, he's a handful.
Right.
It's a small handful, but a handful.
But I think so. We had the conversation. So when we actually were casting Bovi, we had a conversation, and I was like, when you see the two films that Bovi produced, right? The first one is It's Her Day, where he's basically convincing Omoni Oboli and Inidima to fall in love with him. Yes. And nobody thinks he's odd. Or if they are, they're keeping very quiet. And then roll forward to MVP and Sophia Lakija and Teresa Edem are fighting over him. So it's either that Bovi is going around in an exercise of wish fulfillment, or like people literally believe that hot women are attracted to him. So
and that's no cap. As his friend, I can
vouch for him.
100%.
That's for his attractiveness.
I think you need to put this in context. Just because he's a comedian, that's why everyone looks at him.
So women love funny men.
See, I've always said this thing.
Yeah.
I've always said this thing. If you can make a babe laugh, you basically, her eyes are closed half the time. She cannot see you. You will get married, you will have 5 children.
Wow, Damola, clearly this is like pistols are done. So you may not make it home. We know Bovi has guys. So the last time I hung out with Bovi, like this, 100 people on the street were saying hello to him. So one of those 100 people can come to your house.
No, I've used this. That's how I got married to my wife. I just kept making her laugh.
Because the truth is, guys like Bovi would walk into a place and the girl, maybe like me, sitting down and trying to be like, oh, nobody should talk to me. He will come and make you laugh.
Yeah.
Like he'll crack you.
Yeah.
So he's likely the guy to talk to a girl first before even a guy that feels like, oh, I'm a hunk. Oh, I'm Denzel.
See, I also think that we play a lot
talking
into
about
this.
you. Don't catch shade.
I also think that like in Nollywood as well, we have like a habit of stereotyping when people make first decisions at something. I think if Bovi had always started as a dramatic actor first, we'd only ever see him as typecast him. We would have typecast him as that because he's handsome. I'm sorry, like he's handsome. But we put this thing like, oh, comics are funny and not these attractive men, but they really
all women.
All women, we do it as well. If you're a funny woman, you're not really the pretty woman. Do you understand? But the reality is that comics are actually great actors.
Yes.
Because they're able to actually access a range of emotions and they know how to relate to different types of scenarios and enact that as well. I've seen so many of Bovi's sets and he plays every character.
Yes.
So, but what's interesting seeing him essentially reaching into himself as a character is that you get to see that who Bovi is separate to his comedy, which is also part of his front, is that he's a sensitive, thinking, thoughtful, loving man.
Romantic.
And it comes across. And I think that's what's great about drama and romantic comedies, that when you get to see those layers, it makes the chemistry more interesting. As opposed to, you're just a hot man, you're just and a hot girl, you guys get together. And, because it's so predictable, it's always nice when there are different layers that are happening.
I appreciate that, and I will say thank you to all of you and you too, Echo, because I remember coming on set and saying, listen, I know I have range. However, people don't perceive me like that. So I want to make sure I give them a little bit of what they know and what they don't know.
Yeah. And you gave them?
While I did, right? While connecting the story. I was also very conscious of the fact that Pere is a hunk, for starters, and I was going up directly against him, and then I was working interestingly, strangely, for the first time with Sharon, and I've always been a Sharon fan.
Stop it!
Way back.
When's your first time?
First time ever. First time I saw Sharon was on TV, and I'm like, who's this? Who's this? This girl is a firecracker. And I picked up my phone and called my friend. She was starring opposite her. Who's this? He's like, oh, Sharon. I'm like, okay, I'm a fan. Just like that.
Oh, bless.
Yes, so that's that for that. Then Sharon, as an actor, can go from here to here and come here while still conveying the message. So it actually put me on my toes.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Two of you put me on my toes.
Thank you. Thank you.
For real.
One of the things that I saw that I absolutely loved was the press conference that you guys were meant to do, where you guys were by the pool.
Right.
And you guys were running through your lines. Sharon is, Sharon is possibly one of the funniest people behind the camera. Forget all these fine, pretty, packaged, whatever that you guys are seeing. If this camera shifts now, Sharon has switched to pidgin. She's like, she is all over the place. And then, Bovi, Sharon is running through her lines. Bovi is there walking along with her. And then Sharon is there just... It was a nice mix where she was almost trying to make you feel comfortable. Where as you guys were talking, she would rub your face, walk you and help you walk through it. And I was just like, oh, that's so pretty, that's so nice. And it felt believable that these people are actually a couple,
Yeah. A crazy one.
Pere, let me ask you, what did you enjoy most on the set? I don't want to ask you which actor did you enjoy working with the closest or working with at all?
Because you know the answer, but yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Sharon.
Damola, I think that is I think that's you as a viewer, what you enjoyed watching. Because
Please, let me not lie to you. You people enjoyed the kissing in this movie.
you will pray for my lips, so. Pray for my lips. You see these two men?
But my scenes were minus one of the kissing scenes because I got a cut on my lip one time.
Yeah, Bovi kissed you more than I did.
Wow.
Are we counting now?
I guess it's part of the things.
I think there has to be there has to be a little cut for all the times that they kiss different men.
We did a kissometer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can we come back to Pere? Tell us, what did you enjoy?
I personally enjoyed the synergy on the set. It was great synergy with all the cast. It was my first time working with you. I've always been a big fan from back in the day when I walked into RMD's office and you were the first person I saw there. I wanted to see him from then, and I had known you. And then Sharon was also, I think it was a second time working.
Yeah.
We worked on another set than working here. I enjoyed the whole, and the chemistry between, the good chemistry between the producers flowed and made everything so seamless. As who I enjoyed working with, I enjoyed working with Jesus on the set. Oh, you thought I was going to say Jesus.
Let me tell you guys,
Jesus is on set.
I don't need to say it. You watch the film, you judge. Say no more.
So speaking about PG, let's come to you, Naz. Okay. What was it like directing what you co-wrote? Like, did it come out exactly how you wanted it? Did I give you what you wanted? Did Sharon give you what you wanted? Did Pere, you've worked with Sharon before, but you've not worked with me and Pere before.
Yeah.
Did we give you what you wanted?
I mean, so the obvious answer is yes. Otherwise, you stand up and walk out. But like, I mean, so directing is always fun. Like, it's one of those things where, I mean, I've only done it 3 times, so at least I don't hit it yet. And so it's just another form of, in my head, making film, right? So you write it, you shoot it, and then you go to post. So most times, I mean, I write it and I work with the director in post. So working with the actors is always a fun experience. I mean, and you guys, and one of the lessons that I always learn every time is that, like, the best thing you do is just give actors a platform to wow you, and that's what you guys did. You wowed me.
I personally enjoyed the fact that you allowed me to, stretch the script where I felt I needed to stretch it, right? It made the working environment conducive. It allowed us as actors to speak up more often and say, look, what do you think about this and all that, right? For you, Eku, what is it like being an actor then now having to work behind the scenes? I don't mean retired actor that joins Actors Guild or something, right? I'm saying, I wasn't trying to throw shade. What does it feel like? Because I was watching you on set. What does it feel like being an active actor, but now having to be a producer behind the scenes?
So it's really interesting because when I'm working as a producer, I really try not to get too involved, I think, with the acting, because if I was, I'd be there all day. I'd be stuck at the screen, and it's not really my place, to be honest. If I feel like an actor needs support, because I'm more of a creative producer, if they allow me, then I wouldn't mind working with the actors a lot more. And maybe I'll direct one day.
So you keep saying, well, what that one day should show up. One day.
But I like to perfect one thing first. All right, guys, stop stressing me. But I like, what is like with producing is that in my head, I feel like I know visually where I think the project needs to get to, and that's really becomes my focus a lot of the time. So what the actors should look like, what the set, what the set should look like, what the environment should look like. So that really doesn't conflict with me as an actor. But there's always a little bit of FOMO, a little bit of like, I wish I was acting this or involved so much, because you just can't help but think. But it's also surprising as well to see the decisions that other actors make and how they interpret a scene, like the way you guys change different interpretations for what we read. That's always really fascinating because no one's the same.
But you didn't let all of them go, because I remember there was a time on set, you're looking at the actor on set, you're looking at the director is not saying anything. Then you go to the actor, when they cut, I'm like, can you?
I was gonna ask you, like, do you think that like comes in the way of you being a producer, the fact that you're an actor and in your head there's a way you would interpret something and you would expect like an actor to interpret it the way you have it in your head?
No, so I think that I can tell that, like, when I look at an actor performing, I can tell that they can give more because, so I think that's the director in me, I would say. I feel that you're not giving enough or something, or it's there, or you can push out more, or you haven't thought about doing it this way. And I think that for me, that only comes because I've been in a position where I've had teachers come up to me and say, there's more that you can give. There's deeper you can pull out of. So, and it's weird because as a director, I don't know if you ever see that, where you see it. You see like, oh, it's there. They just didn't commit enough. So try it again and see if you can commit to that.
So what I do is I ask questions, like, so the way, if somebody, because everybody gets to that place differently, so you do it one way. So rather than say do it a different way, I then try and make them think like the character. So what would you do in this situation? What would you do in that situation? How do you feel about this? So there was, for example, there was a scene where the two of them meet and they're walking up the stairs, and then they played it straight. And then I remember I asked you a question, but you guys are going to this thing and you clearly don't like each other, so how would you react? And so it was a little thing. So they played the exact scene almost the same, and then at the end, Bovi asked Pere for help. Pere laughs, like literally laughs. And then Bovi literally chucks his collar and walks away, right? That little moment encapsulated their relationship. That literally, these people, there's beef. But it wasn't I want you to think about what you would do. It's just basically to get them to think of what would this character do in the situation being confronted, to force them to internalize it more. Because that's what I generally find with actors.
Right.
When they're not giving you what you want, they have not internalized the decision-making of the character. So it's to help them get there. That's basically the way I think about it.
Okay. Let me ask one question, but this question goes to especially the three of you, right? That's Zulu, Damola, and Nas, right? You people can't tell me you don't fight.
Everybody fights in life, I don't understand.
But we ain't never seen it publicly. I mean, most groups, right? You can even feel the tension. We don't even feel tension from you guys. On this set, or have you experienced any of your fights?
I can give you the answer without them answering.
Really?
Because Zulu is just this, I don't know if she's a calming syrup. That's just this facts. That's what she represents. So she's like, obviously there's two men with huge egos at their side, and she's like this calming syrup in the middle. So I 100%, without them saying anything, this is the solution.
Stop letting you come to our office.
And that's why she's my best friend.
Yes, boo.
But Sharon is right. More often than not, Naz and I would pick. If you were to argue, what's the color of this my shirt? Naz and I would have an argument as to the color of the shirt. Right?
With facts.
With facts to back it up as to why it is a different color. But then Zulu is always the one that would then now come in and say, but you realize that both of you are saying the same thing, right? Dark blue and navy blue are the same thing.
Like the same last name.
No, but I think really it's that three of us know how to fight, I would say.
Right.
You know how you can argue with people and then because you've had the argument doesn't mean there's actually animosity or enmity between you guys. It's just a conversation we're having. Do you get? So we know how to fight this minute, talk about something and laugh the next minute. So I think that's...
Does any of you do I told you so?
Yes.
Oh, no, well, I don't.
In fact, I learned from you.
I have to say, like, considering that you are three execs, you're probably the most get on with each other execs that I've ever worked with, to be honest.
Right.
And I think that's really because that you guys have probably worked out where all your strengths lie and kind of respect those boundaries a bit. When you do cross, you know how to cross respectfully, I would say, even if it's a little bit loud.
Wow.
We know who the loud one is.
But it's,
you know I can't leave, it's not by force. I don't have to be in this podcast.
But they all have equal amounts of sass, though, I would say. They all have equal amounts of sass.
Right.
Because, to be honest, there's some things where if I'm in groups with all three of them, I'm just like, I won't say anything here.
You let it slide.
Let it play out.
Let's just quietly pass over this little moment of tension.
Right.
What are we doing next?
It's like a love triangle, right? Each one of us is pushing for something. It's kind of like you guys, right? You guys all want something. Both of you want something, and then each of you is pushing, trying to make your points.
Right.
And then, based on the time of day, based on who has the most facts, based on even how you just feel, one person might win, one person might lose. But we don't hold it against each other. We don't look at you and say, I'll catch you next time. Then I'm waiting for it that if by mistake I was right and you were wrong. Remember that day we were talking about this 3 months ago? I told you so.
I think the mistake a lot of people make is that they think that conflict is bad. So they automatically do things to avoid conflict. So they are inside, their body is boiling inside. So it's better for you to believe that all of you want. So when you start from a place of everybody wants the good thing. So it's not about ego or who is right. It's that like all of us are trying to move Inkblot forward, right? So it's not that, I'm trying to be right or Damola trying to be right or Zulu is trying to be right because of ego. It's because we honestly believe that this is the best thing for the business. And you know you've been doing this for 10 years. So you know when people are blowing smoke up your ass. And when it's, so that you can't be doing ego for us, when we were literally sitting down doing film where the sun was beating us, and so for us, the thing that has happened as we have changed is that the demands are different, right? But we have to remember that same organizing principle, that does this move the country forward? Right. Or in this case, the company forward.
Speaking about Sharon, right, you said something about us as actors having to navigate and us not being our comfort zone necessarily. Sharon, I think, put in the most work because you were in virtually every scene from start to everything from start to end,
There were
right?
many uncomfortable situations as
Very
well.
many. Ladies and gentlemen, Sharon, you know this film is quite star-studded too because Mr. Macaroni is in it,
Yeah, so-
Dorcas Fabson is in it, Wofai is in it, Mimi Shaka is in it,
Adunia Day is in it.
Adunia Day is in it,
Rotimi Salami.
Rotimi Salami. You see, and Sharon literally had a scene with almost everybody,
Yes.
except for maybe Adunia Day.
Yes, I think that.
Except for Adunia Day. Tell us how you went through this journey.
So to be honest, even when I first read this script, I was really excited. So I already figured that in my head how I wanted Tade to be, because I feel like Tade was that rich bad girl that did not look like a rich bad girl, you know. And I think it's just what I could relate with in terms of Tade was the whole pressure to make sure that you please your family. Even I, as Sharon, I'm still dealing with that kind of, you know, trying to break out of where you're always in a situation where you need. Yes. So I understood Tade loving one brother, loving the other brother, but trying to do what was right to please. You understand?
Yeah. So this.
So he was happy.
So Zulu has had a visceral reaction to this script.
But it's crazy because in all the comments, so many people say I was in this situation myself once.
Yes.
So this happened to me.
People have been
I've
through
been
it.
there.
Well, you know what? Sorry, please continue. Let's not interrupt. We'll talk about that.
So for me, I already knew, and then being the actor that I am today, I think with acting you grow on every set, right? You're never that. Every set brings out a new character, a new layer of your acting, and I think the comfort of where I was, I would have to give kudos to the production, the director, the producer, and the entire team for making us comfortable. It's like giving us this blank canvas to paint on, and that's what we actors do. When you say just go crazy, and that's how I felt. We were well fed. We didn't have crazy shooting hours, obviously, apart from certain days, which just it's normal with sets, right? But generally, I felt very happy, and that for me as an actor helped me bring out my best. So even when you're tired, you're just like, these people are treating me too good. You don't want to let them down, and that's one thing I feel like majority of production companies in Nigeria need to learn, understanding that yes, you've paid me to do a job. Yes, this is it's a collaborative thing where my happiness is your happiness, right? So making me comfortable on set I'm your wife temporarily, so make me happy. And that's one thing I have to give to you, Inkblot. Like every time I have worked with you guys, it's been a whirlwind of beautiful emotions. So being able to deliver was partly also because I was in a safe space,
Nice.
Yeah.
Let me quickly just ask you a difficult question.
Yeah.
Because this film has two endings, the producers have refused to tell us which one it ended with.
Yeah.
The only time I've ever seen that kind of thing happen was, what's that Michael Douglas film?
The Game?
No, the one with Gwyneth Paltrow.
Fair Game.
A Perfect Murder.
Okay.
A Perfect Murder.
Okay, yes, I
They
remember
shot two endings for A Perfect Murder.
Yes.
Actually, right? Who would you rather end up with?
So I can't even now.
Go and see the film, stop
even
that.
now, Sharon, I can't help Tade. Because Cheta brought out a very different side of her, and so did Chidi.
You want to eat a goosey soup and throw
Why
soup
can't
at the
you
same
do it?
time.
We put it. I touch. Yes. So you would have to find out. You guys should pick. Tell the producers to put the other end at the end of the film, so you know which one made you happy.
Was it a unanimous vote amongst you guys?
So it was interesting because when we all read the script, everybody had different teams that they were on.
Yeah.
Definitely. When I first read it, I was one
Team
brother,
Chidi.
and then when it ended, I was a different team.
Later I was Team Cheta.
So
We all have that problem.
I definitely.
Don't use one brother, use us. Because we shot it now. So was it him or me? So when you read it, who did you want her to end up with?
When I first read it, it was when I first read the first script. It was Team Cheta that
Him.
Yeah.
Now I was Team You.
Really?
And she was
Yeah. I've never been any other.
But on the writing on the script.
But
The difference is when you lifted the film, things started changing a little bit. I don't want to give away the ending because I don't want to upset anybody.
When I read it,
I just cut it out.
when I first read it, without knowing what I was playing, I was Team him.
Yeah.
Then when I found out what I was playing,
You were like,
it's got to
That's
be
what
me.
happens with film. You read a script, and then when you start seeing the interpretation, when you're watching it, it's a different thing
change,
altogether. Yes. So
I mean, what I thought was really great with this cast was that everybody was very receptive to everybody's choices. You know, I think that is the success for getting like really good synergy, is that nobody is like rejecting what somebody's deciding to do. Because so someone like Edewor now, he took that character, you know, to really extreme places. I mean, he was throwing slippers at people.
Macaroni really changed that character.
And everybody accepted it as their character,
Yeah.
and would figure out how to interact with him, and therefore they would develop that relationship with that character. And you know, Dorcas.
Right.
Dorcas is, I have to say, one of the most interesting actors that I know, because obviously her public persona is just so specific. It's so specific, and then you see her in the roles and choices that we put her, or the industry puts her in, or she goes. So they're all so different. You know, you're like, I could, you know, seeing her.
yeah, and that's what makes her so
delivers.
fantastic. I feel like Dorcas is such a deep actor. Naturally, I've always had a thing for any British-born actor, naturally. But Dorcas, for me, is how she's able to look a certain way, but give you something totally different. So, like, personally, I'm a fan. Maybe that's what I'm speaking from. I'm a fan base.
Because he went to Britain to talk about it.
See, like, she knows. She even knows. I tell her all the time. I'm a huge fan of DSF. Like, I love her. So, I love how calm she was in this film.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, because people don't see that. So
Yes.
obviously you have Aduni. I think the public also have a different idea of who she is, but she's so sweet.
Yeah.
But then seeing her in this very austere role as well, she killed it. She killed it. And obviously Mimi Shaka is an up-and-coming actress, and she really entered Abigail.
She was so annoying.
Yes.
For me to be angry while shooting, just know that Mimi killed it. Because just as she was the presenter, that I was just like, can she just shut up?
That's my
felt.
favorite line. My favorite line, and you can cut it out. But my favorite line is when she gives it back to Deborah's character. What's Deborah's character?
Well, that's Oba. Yeah.
And she says, "Oh, I thought you said I was Christian Hammondpour," or something like that. That, you know, it was such a nice. I love that moment in the film. I love that moment. Who else was in the cast? Before I forget anybody else. Have I done everybody?
No,
yes, Lottie.
Wofai.
Yeah. So
how was it? Because Wofai was your best friend in the movie.
Wait. I need to just finish up.
Yeah.
I'll end on our actors here. Exactly. So Lottie I think she completely brought a different character from what we all thought that character was going to be.
You all thought, give the director some credit here.
No, you're not thinking either.
Please.
You're not thinking either.
Please.
Like, because it was a totally different source for what we thought that character was. Because obviously it was supposed to be somebody else, but conflicting scheduling. Then our leads, I was gonna say our leads. My leads. Sharon is the quintessential rom-com girl. Do you know what I mean? Like, because she has and I say that with all due respect, because to be a rom-com star is very hard. Most people fall flat. Because you just think all you have to be is just pretty and that's it. You actually have to be very dynamic to keep the audience interested and invested in your character. And that's what she did. And I love watching her go through this because it also really felt very method in a way, because making her play flag football.
See,
making her
this is what stressed me.
Like, I don't think she had to act. She didn't have to act. She just had to be.
So let me even give you guys a bit of the behind the scenes from that day. Now we go to the football field in a beautiful school. Obviously, they got really pretty sets. And then there's a bunch of people there who were already playing their own game that obviously had to hold ransom. Yes. So now they don't understand that my character is not supposed to know. Obviously, I don't know how to play, but they think I'm just being pretty. Tell her to move the ball now. So I scream back at them like I'm supposed to be dumb. Because I was just like, leave me
according to the script.
Yes, I'm like, you don't understand. And that's the thing with a lot of people, right? When you're not invested in a movie and understanding why a character is supposed to be doing what you're doing, you miss the little bits. And it happens with a lot of people where you're watching something and you don't understand why this, just because you've missed one tiny little bit that mattered, right? So for me, that day, it just made me realize that there's just people for every film. You have your people and you have people who are there to support irrespective and,
Pere as Cheta, like, I have to say, the most handsome but useless Cheta. I mean, one thing.
I want to ask you, Cheta, what's your hard work? What work do you have in
Please
life?
don't insult my best friend.
In life.
That's Cheta.
Cheta. What's your work?
Cheta is my best friend. Don't insult him.
So this was the weird thing,
You know,
right?
the thing is, you see Pere, and you just think he's going to be. I don't know. What they call you on Big Brother? The general. Yes, sorry. You think he's going to be this. That's what you want to get. But he's actually so sweet and he's so nice.
And soft-spoken.
So soft-spoken.
Like the weirdest
And it's so funny because he brings that to Cheta as well. And in some ways, you're like, we want to see the general. We pick the shit out of Bovi.
Well, we did fight, right?
Yeah. So it does. I don't want to give too much.
we also have a fight scene in the movie?
But,
What?
Yeah,
Wow.
but honestly, like. He was so always graceful on set. He was always so calm. Always found his corner. When he was ready, he came and said no complaints, nothing. He was like the easiest person to work with.
Yes.
I have to say, it was the first time working with Bovi as an actor. I've actually known Bovi a very long time. He's very good friends because Bovi has actually insulted me severally in his original scenes.
I love it. I love it.
Dragging now.
Back in the day when I was first starting, Bovi used to. I think there was one joke you made about. There was some joke you made about if they kidnapped me in Warri, they would throw me back.
That's funny.
Country is one of us.
As well. Like, you think that you're kidnapping somebody.
No hostage value.
Take it back,
Wow. That is brilliant and mean at the same time. Bravo.
I want to ask about the other characters in the movie. What was it like working with them for you guys? Because Oba Macaroni, Mr. Macaroni was your brother.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Lottie Wofield, your best friend.
Yeah.
I think, what do you call it? Dorcas was your sister-in-law.
Yeah.
So what was that like? With your relationships across board with those people, what was it like shooting with them? Was Mr. Macaroni really Mr. Freaky on set?
No, he's such a
They're doing
gentleman.
well.
He's such a gentleman, and I really love the fact that he was so invested in his character. Like, even Offset, when we've caught, kills it every single time she's given an opportunity. Obviously, I've already spoken about DSF. Before you think I'm a super fan, let me calm down. So, yeah. And then my father,
Funsho
Adil, I absolutely loved his delivery. I feel like he was absolutely amazing. And my mom, I feel like it was such a perfect mom cast. I feel like she looked like Eko's big sister. Like, I really, really loved it. And I loved I'm giving away too much if I say what I was about to say, but I like the fact that I was playing a role where I couldn't relate with a mother. In real life, I can't relate. Me and my mother are like besties. Right. So it was such a struggle for me internally to have a mom that I was not cool with. I didn't know how to wrap my head around it. Like, I don't know if it showed, but I was struggling. I didn't know, because I'm like, why are we not chummy?
Right. I'll tell you why. Because you put yourself in situations like this.
I was helping two brothers. I was helping the family.
How are you in love with two brothers? You did not see all the men in Lagos.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, the perfect arrangement starring Sharon, Pere, Dorcas Fabsin, Mr. Macaroni, Rotimi Salami, Wofai Fada, Funsho Adil, right?
Yes.
Many others, and yours truly, Bovi, myself, premieres on the 8th of May. And the very next weekend, it will be in cinemas nationwide. Oh shit! Trust me, you want to see this.
If you love love, if you hate love,
if you love, hate love, you want to see a love triangle, you want to see Bovi as a stuntman, you want to see these two guys fight, please, that's the movie to watch.
Yeah.
Yes.